out. Usually. Not always, but usually. Okay, and then there is self-exorcism, which we saw our Lord do. When Peter came up and started tempting him, our Lord said, or, don't go to Jerusalem, and our Lord said, Satan, get behind me. So that in point of fact, we can exorcise Satan out of ourselves to a certain degree, and that's what the binding prayers do. But it's also, you can just say it directly, get behind me. And that actually serves a very useful function, because if you're being tempted in any way, then what happens is when you shift the attention to going on the attack to the demonic. Now, not all our temptations, as I mentioned before, are from the demonic. As I mentioned again, Satan's not under every rock.
Can I ask you a question, Father?
Yeah.
Was Satan speaking through Peter?
Well, he was the one who probably placed the thought in Peter. And so as a result, Peter would say, oh, that's a good idea, but he shouldn't go to Jerusalem. And so he brings this up and he says, no. And Christ knows the source of it. And that's why he says, get behind me. So as you go on the attack, it does two things. One, because as I mentioned, not every temptation is from Satan. Because of the world, the flesh, and the devil. Those are the three sources of temptation. And so, but Satan can make use of the world and the flesh. But it's one of those things, he's not under every rock, he's under every other rock. And if you put that rock back down and to try and find him and lift up the other rock, you go back to the other rock and there he is again. He wasn't there before, but now he's there. It's one of those kinds of things. So he's not under every rock, but at the same time, it's one of those things that if you do the self-exorcism, it's analogous to us with dogs. If you see a dog snapping and snarling every time you walk by, even though you haven't even touched the thing, you're not likely to go up and start, petting the thing, because you might get your hand bit off. Well, it's the same thing in relationship with demons with us. They don't want to get involved with us unless it's necessary. They have to if they know they're just going to get their intellect chewed at, so to speak. That's to put it more formally. But anyway, in other words, if they're going to get their hand bit off, they're not going to get involved with you. Well, it's the same kind of a thing. So if you go on the attack regularly, they're less likely to do it, or the attacks will become more subtle, so you won't